You got it. It's sweet.
Quite nice.
Yeah. It's like nothing. It's like...
You're really not having to go.
Hi, you're going to need some printer paper, some foam board, a ruler, a pencil, some zip ties, some scotch tape, 2 popsicle sticks, and a hot glue gun. Alright, so we're going to show you how to make this paper quadcopter using printer paper. The first thing you're going to want to do is make a little thin crease on the edges so you can get the roll going. Okay, the thinner you get it and the tighter you can roll it, the stronger it's going to be. So take your time in the first part over here because this is going to be the critical part. Okay, just get it nice and even and start the rolls from the outside and then work your way towards the middle. After a while you'll get the hang of this and it'll be pretty easy for you to do from now on. I've had different versions of these arms made and I found this to be the best method so far. You can try using heavier matte printer paper. So now you want to slide the second sheet in between and get that nice and even. Line it up. And then you want to make sure the roll is nice and tight. You push, push, and once you get past that little piece of paper, you should be able to push it along like rolling dough. Don't worry about if you get a little bit of funnel on the ends. Just tape up the middle part, start in the middle so it doesn't unravel. Tape in the middle and twist and push it so that way it's nice and tight. Okay, so once you get the middle, then you start working on the ends. I like to use the magic tape so it's kind of like not shiny. It gives it a nice matte, even finish so it's almost invisible. And then you go for the other end. Put that on. And then another piece of tape just to like make sure there's no loose ends anywhere, and tape and twist so it's nice and tight. Okay, now I have a little bit of funnel on over here. I'm going to bang it on a hard surface, like a flat surface, and that should make it nice and even. Okay, so that's pretty easy to do. Okay, now repeat the process. Make sure it's nice and even, roll tight, tape it, and then when you finish, bang the ends if you have a funnel end, and they'll even it all out. Okay, so now I've got 2 even pieces, and I want to put that aside, and we're going to work on the arms now. The arms right now, we're going to use the paper. This time, we're going to use 3 sheets, and we're going to roll it lengthwise. Okay, so the same principle, tiny little crease, just to get the roll going. Get the ends even. Once you get that the way you want it, then you can start rolling it. Take your time on this part right here because you want it nice and strong. Okay. It normally starts to roll pretty good after maybe the 4th or 5th roll. It gets to be easier and smoother. It may feel a little like oblong, but that's okay too. As long as it's nice and tight, just push. Push it, nice. I'm getting a little bit of a funnel here. I'm going to see if I can correct that without having to redo it and get it even. Okay, I got it even, so I'm just rolling. At that point, I put the second sheet in, and I'm going to start rolling that inside. Just like rolling dough. There we go. Okay, save a little space, put another sheet, and get it even. Push tight and roll hard it. Roll it. Okay, now tape the middle as before. In the middle says unravel. And the sides. And twist and turn. Yeah, this is going to make some really strong arms. So when you finish this part over here, as before, I have a little bit of a funnel here, as you can see on the very tip right there. I'm going to bang that right out. It actually makes for a tighter winding if you do that. It forces it, you know. Okay. So that's good. So I've got so far 2 short ones and 1 long one. All right, I'm going to repeat the process for the other arm. You already know the deal. And then we're going to work on the body. Tape, 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 and we're good. Okay, so now we should have 2 long rods and 2 short rods. There. Okay. So now the body. What you want to do here is you want to find the center points. The center points of the front and the center points of the back. By using a ruler, you're going to divide whatever the number is by half, and that'll be your middle. So let's say if it's 5 inches, it'll be 2.5 inches, or millimeters, whatever you're using. Make a little mark right there. I'm going to show you what that's for in a little bit. Do the front and the back. Okay. And then I'm going to do the sides too. Not really that important, but you know, later on when I put my flight controller, I'll know where the center is exactly. Or my CG. Or thereabouts. This part doesn't have to be too accurate, but you know. Okay. So then I'm going to draw a line across. And then again, lengthwise. So I'll have a big, like, plus sign, or X, whatever you want to call it. Okay, first thing we're going to do is do the rails. Now, get your hot glue ready for this here. And start with one rail. And just hold it next to it and shoot some hot glue on the sides. And then once you have enough glue there, just slide into place. Hold it for about a second or two until it cools down a little bit and it stays. Okay, just hold it there. Okay, that's good. We'll do the other side now. Be generous with your hot glue. You want this stuff to stick, to be strong. hold that there for another second or two. A little hot glue on my fingers, but that's okay. Alright. And then we'll put hot glue in the crack right there. And we're just going to fill that little tiny gap up. Don't worry about weight right now. In the end, the total weight of your quadcopter frame will be about 62 grams, which is very, 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 very light. Alright, last bit of hot glue over here. Now we're going to show you what those lines are for. I made a line in the middle of the arm to match up and line up with the frame so I know it's exactly centered. So I can take a look and measure on this side and on that side, it's exactly even. Okay, so again with the hot glue, put a little bit on the sides, and you may want to fill up some of the holes too, just to get extra more strength. The holes in the rods. Just stick some hot glue in there and then put some of the railings, and then we're gonna line them up. Just push it in and hold it tight and make sure it's even. Just like that. Hold it in place. Slide in because I don't want it to stick to my table here. So I'm just pushing, giving a little bit of pressure, and that should be good. Alright, I'm going to put some more on top. Fill any gaps. I'm using it as a gap filler, and to give extra strength. Fill the hole up, fill the edges of the hole, and so there's no like empty spots right there. So it's going to be completely solid. Okay, so that should be nice and tight. Okay, so now I'm going to do the back end. I'm lining this one up now. Fill the hole up a little bit, and around, circle, inside, and around the edge, and across the board. Line it up with the line. Push down tight. Doesn't take that long. Okay. Again, as I did before, I'm going to fill up the edges over here so it's a really good seal. One thing you may want to know too, try not to glue it on the tape side. You want the tape side on the outside because with the tape it tends to kind of like come off easier. If it's paper to paper, it will stick a lot better. So try to keep the tape line on the outside of the frame. Ask me how I know. This is probably a version 9 or so of the paper quadcopter I've tried. There's still a lot more room for improvements. My previous one was a wider thing, but I had problems with the propellers hitting the board itself, so I made this one narrower. I probably could make it a little narrower than it is now, but we're going to test this one out and see. Okay, do the same on the other side, fill up the gaps, make sure it's a strong bond. Okay, and then the reverse side. Okay, you're almost done. Only a couple more steps left, and we've completed the frame. Okay, so you want to fill the inside of the whole of the arms. The reason why it will get crushed by the motors if it's not. So this will give it more support walls. So fill as much as you can like a jelly donut on the inside. Get it all filled nice and solid, maybe about a ½ inch all the way in, and then bring it out to all the way to the end. And then when you're done with that, you want to go around the outside in a little circular motion, and that will give it a nice, strong stopper type of effect. So it'll be really good. So you go around a little circle, all around the edge, so there's nothing, unraveling. It's gonna be nice and solid, nice and tight. So just going a little ring type of motion here. Just fill the outside up. It's all filled. It's nice and solid. Okay, so this is the hard part that's done. Okay, so now we're gonna go for the easier stuff, which is basically getting some popsicle sticks and getting a pair of scissors or cutters, whatever you want to do it with, and you want to cut maybe like a ½ inch piece or so. Be careful with your fingers. The reason I'm doing this, it'll shoot out if I cut like that, see? So I'm trying to catch it so I don't lose them. Just cut about 8 pieces of these things here, and this is going to be your support structure for the zip ties. And we'll get that in 1 second. Okay, it's probably more than 8 right there. I'm narrating this instead of like talking while I'm doing it because my kid was playing Minecraft with his friend while I was doing this, so it was a lot of noise, and it's been very, very distracting. So I'm doing the audio afterwards, watching the video and talking at the same time. Okay, so I'm putting some hot glue on these sticks, 2 per side, and bring it close to the edge as you can, all the way to the rail. Also on the front arm. And don't be stingy with the hot glue at this point right now. It's just adding such a minute amount of weight to your quadcopter. I guess with this technique you can probably pretty much make any type of shape you want, as long as the arms are strong. Right now, my shape right now is more like a sled or H quadcopter, but I guess you can measure it to make it an X shape. And if you get really silly, you can probably cut holes out in it, In this one, I'm not putting landing legs on, but I could put landing legs just by getting the same type of tubes and cutting them into small pieces and then gluing them to the underside of the quadcopter, like 1 per corner, and then you have your own landing gears. But right now, this is dry, so what I'm going to do is get something sharp, like a jeweler's screwdriver, and pop a hole right in the middle above the popsicle sticks. I'm trying to, this video is a little bit long, but I wanted to show you how quickly you can actually make this quadcopter. It's not hard at all. It's actually a little bit longer here because I'm taking my time to make sure you guys can see. So roughly it would probably take you about 15 minutes once you know how to make an entire frame from scratch. So now I'm getting my zip ties ready, and I'm going to take them and put them through the hole. If I can not shoot them out, and tie them through. They do not have to be like super gorilla tight. You just want it to be like really tight enough to hold something in place, but it doesn't have to be locked in where you can't budge it. The glue is going to really hold it in place. This is just to hold the rails on the side and the arms, so that they don't get too stressed out if you do have a little crash. Now, when this thing crashes, it doesn't fall hard. It's almost like a flutter because it's so light. You're not going to have any major crashes with this. It is, again, really light. And if you break something, you can either rip off an arm and put a new one in pretty easily. But I find these things to be pretty durable. You can throw them against the wall and they'll kind of almost bounce. It's so light. Okay, so this is probably, like I said before, like my 9th version of this frame, and this is what I found to be the most effective and the best working method to keep it from falling apart and being pretty solid. I tried other versions where I put tape, just tape. Instead of the body, another version I did was I put another rod in between, and then I put some heavy printed paper, the kind used for photography printing, matte paper, and glue that on top. But that would be 100% paper quadcopter. This is a little bit of a cheat by using a foam board, but right now I just wanted to get this done just to show you how good it is. And I know this is going to be more solid than just using the third rod in the middle. So this will work for you. Feel free to modify, show me your ideas on your paper quad so I can see if there's a better way of doing this. Right now, so far, this is the best. It'll cost you less than $1/4 to make in supplies, and it's kind of fun. It's a good knock around quadcopter. You can fly inside the indoors, you can fly it outdoors, but not on a windy day because it's pretty lightweight, so the wind can kind of blow it around a little bit. So right now I'm just trimming off the ends to make it nice and neat. You don't have to, but I like to. And last one. And okay, we're done. So that's it. Alright, so the next video is going to be installing the motors, which is the tricky part, and electronics. And that's it. It's nice and sturdy. There you go.